Welcome to the Old World Fanatics, your Warhammer Fantasy podcast to quench your hobby thirst for all things the Old World. I'm one of your hosts, Gommo, and I'm joined as usual by Andrew and Josh. And I think Josh is about to fall asleep, but that's all good. Welcome, guys. How you going?
I'm pretty bushed.
Yeah,
pretty bushed.
For those who are
Australia earlier today.
Yeah, they would have heard last week that, well, we just found out, you just casually mentioned it, that you're off to Singapore on the podcast last week. And he doesn't even miss an episode.
No, that's the dedication, the professionalism that we bring to this endeavor.
Professionalism, Old World Fanatics. That's right. Yeah. We turn up and every week.
Last 3 days I've been in Australia because I did, last week's the next day I did the 6 Ebb podcast. And I flew to Singapore. Got back and now I'm doing another fucking podcast. Never ending.
You're back? You're saying you're back at like 3 a.m. Aussie time, or the flight left at 3 a.m. or something?
It left at 3 a.m. Melbourne time. Yes. So
wow.
I mean, because when you're sitting in the boarding and you can't fall asleep, it's just exhausting.
Yeah.
Dedication.
I do take some Polaramin, some Phenergan.
Wax some Phenergan in, eh? Oh, well. No, man, thank you. You've got, if only we could get paid full time just to do podcasts all the time. That'd be easy. What an easy life. You know, but we'll get there.
One day.
Okay. Yeah. We what do we got on today, guys? Again, not like just, I don't know, it's just, I think Old World's in a bit of a cruisy state and just people are, playing around with some crazy lists that we want to cover with some not rumors, but they're just S-Bot kicked off last week. Some brutal evolutions of the meta, which are probably leading to some other evolutions of the meta, which we might as well touch on. I wouldn't say we're experts at it, but it's worth talking about, which is kind of funny.
We were ahead of the game for a while, I feel.
I feel like, I know, I don't want to, I was seriously going to go back through the transcripts and try and get the amount of times we mentioned some of these things, but they never had the guts to pull it off. And these people are just doing it with like, just ruthless abandonment. I love it. I just couldn't do it. But anyway, some surprises though, which I'm like, oh, cool. So that's pretty nice. But listener questions, and we got the Jordan Sorceries 5 quiz thing again, which you guys probably didn't even know about, but it's there, so we won't know what we're doing.
Oh, yep. Great.
Probably shout out some tournaments, and that's about it. And a little bit of hobby, but it's frustrating. I've been doing some other stuff in the background. I haven't been able to. It's not that impressive, but at the same time, it has been keeping me from normal hobby. It is hobby related, so hopefully this week that'll pop out. Just it's a slightly different off-spin channel, not channel, but like thing that I want to cover as well. So
watch this space.
It was going to be last week, but we had to push it back, so that's all good. So I am doing things, people. If our patrons are wondering where I've been, I'm just head in the computer at the moment. With that, should we shout out these awesome patrons that we've got?
Yep,
most definitely.
Awesome.
Of course.
Cool. I will. So these Patreons, if you've just tuned into Old World Fanatics, which I doubt you just have, we've got a Patreon over at patreon.com/oldworldfanatics, and these awesome folks over there are helping us deliver Old World Fanatics week in and week out. They've got a couple of tiers, got a private Discord channel there on our main Australian Discord channel server, is that what it's called? So if you want to jump over there, it's always busy. They throw us questions every week. We always get shamed because of the quality of the painting of various members. But it's pretty crazy. And then obviously Josh pipes in with his awesome hobby knowledge occasionally, and then shows us all up as well. So it's all good. But they do get a shout out, so I better jump over to Patreon, and I didn't have that one loaded.
Much loved Patreons. Love you guys.
We've got about 42 there, so I'll just go through quickly, call them out. And I did promise last week I was going to let me see if I could do that right. I'm going to try this on the fly, and I'm going to screw up the last, how like the last 5 are always the same. This is going to screw that up, but I don't care. I'm going to give it a go.
The OG. It's not going to be the OG.
It's going to happen. It sounds all very unfamiliar.
I'm going to go down. Our tiers here just for fun and see what happens and see what you guys. I'll
the
call
tiers.
out the OG when I
Love
get
it.
to the OG, but it won't be in the OG position. And the
Okay.
surprise guy won't be in the position either. So we're just going to have to wing this. So I'll see how it goes. So in our 3D6 gyrocopter fund here is Gilthos Draconos. Big thank you. He is delivering. He's one of the ones who deliver. I mean, geez, how good is his painting in our Discord? Then we have our 2D6 battle reports and hobby out here with Benoit, Cameron White, Contrast and Hobby, Josh Griffiths, Robert Z, Shooter Louie, Tommy Dogs. So thank you guys for that. And then we've got a 1D6 tier. Just the quick episode tier, as we call it, with Ed Fawcett, Eugene Chaffo, James McQuinn. And then we have a lot of these are our original OWF supporters tier. So Andrew Harris, Bobby Gherkin, Cameron Atkinson, Chapstick. There you go. Daniel Broadstock, David Lancaster, Denny Gamer, Diesel, Flatwell's Edge, Griff, Gumwitch, Herald of the Old World, Jay McBride, Jelly, Jess Tors, Jonathan Wengler, Joseph Justice, Keel Hurd, Liam Fallon, Matt Morris, Matthew Klein, Nananum, Scuzzy Grundies. Oh no, Scuzzy Grundies.
That looks like an unfortunate situation.
It's definitely undies behind the person hanging up. Is that what that is?
I think that's Trump.
Is that? Oh god. Okay. That's
Trump on a pair of
yeah. Well,
undies.
that would make sense then. Sean Ritchie, Sexy, Thomas Vavasel, Thumper, Todd Lloyd, Tommy Kublin, William Payne, and Wood Duck. So a big thank you, guys. I just wanted to, keep us awake, just do it all around the other way. But I think it's cool to shout out some of those extra tiers that people are paying for. So thank you.
Definitely.
Big thank you, guys. And I said, if you're not doing that, that's cool. Jump on YouTube, hit the like, subscribe, and comment on our videos. We love it. Hopefully, Andrew and I are going to try to get Faction Focus out or some other video. We're going to try as well. We chat about it. We've got to get back onto it. It's just been a bit busy.
Definitely.
We will do it. So we'll have some more content. And obviously, if you're into Sixth Ed, jump over onto Josh's Sixth Ed episode 2 of his campaign last week. It dropped on Friday.
Yeah.
So cool. So stuff is happening over here, and we'll keep pumping out if people are listening. And even if you're not, we'll probably keep doing it.
Yeah.
So,
Can't stop it. No one
cool.
can stop us. We either listen.
Did any of you? I was going to say there's no news, but did you guys see anything? You know how there was this rumbling that there was going to be a preview, and then we thought there might have been an Empire preview before the end of the year. Did anyone hear anything? I didn't, but I've
The
been out of
rumors, yeah.
Okay.
The rumor mill was turning.
I didn't hear anything about that.
Yeah. So was there anything more, Andrew? Not really from last week.
No.
Okay.
Nah, kind of like there was the big heightened. Oh, there's some and then heard Empire, and then it sort of like all fizzled away.
Yeah,
So,
I just wasn't sure what events are on internationally that might have preview shows. There must be something, but I don't know. No, because once you hit that sort of late November into December, it just goes dark, then, doesn't it? Really.
Yeah.
So I'd assume, hopefully, that we might get a preview before then, and then hopefully, my prediction is the first release of Jan is going to be Old World again, but we'll see. Let's jump on to, we've got 2 lots of questions and stuff, fun stuff before we start chatting about lists. So we've got Patreon questions, and then we've got our Jordan Sorcery weekly quiz as he works towards his end of year quiz. We like to throw that on us and see how bad we are with our G-dub knowledge. Let's whack into some Patreon questions, guys.
all right.
Let's do it. Got some questions. Who wants? I can do it. The first one is.
Yeah, I'll hit the second one because there was a question of me in there, so that might make
Okay,
sense.
cool.
You go first. I'll go second.
I feel like I should do the second because if it's a question to you, I should be asking you the question.
Oh, okay. I'll go first then. All right, from the dentist. Is that Cam?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Because he's a dentist.
Is he?
Yeah. Although I think he does mainly surgery, so it's more like if you get your teeth smashed in. I don't know.
All right.
Dentist
I'll keep that in mind then. Next time I need it.
Yeah.
No, all right. What would you put in a players pack? This is actually quite a bit of a hard one when I was thinking about it. What would you put in a players pack for an 8-player tournament? And how would you find a happy medium between wanting to have a good time and a natural instinct of wanting to crush your enemies? And have them driven before you and hear the
lamentations of their women.
Lamentations of their women.
So the background to this is Cam hit me up and said, he wants to play more old world and he can't get to many events, and so he wants to run an 8-player event in January. So that's where that came from.
Oh,
yeah.
it's like the mix of that.
Yeah.
Oh,
so hence then he whacked that on the questions. I don't know if he put that first or whatever, but I said, yeah, go for it. That'd be awesome. As long as it's not the CanCon weekend, because I can't do CanCon. I can't do gaming on that weekend. So I guess, yeah, he's just hitting the rest of the patrons and us out. I think happy medium. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're playing Warhammer and you've got friends and you've got beer and I think, especially an 8-player one where it's probably at someone's house, I mean, I don't think I'd want a real heavy, what's it called, like, rip everyone's throat out. But I also wouldn't comp it. I'd just say, just bring what you want, but know that we're drinking and having beer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd feel if I was running a really small tournament like that, I'd feel like it's a lot less competitive almost, and I feel like it opens the door to put in some pretty zany scenarios. You have a lot of fun with that kind of thing. And if it's something that players, it just feels like it'd just be a fun weekend more than like a competitive event for sure.
Plus, I think you'd probably know everyone pretty much going, so you probably don't want to. Well, I don't know. I feel like you can probably be liberal with the comp, like not lock it down, but I think most people would govern themselves a little bit.
I would think so.
Yeah. Unless the decision is let's go real hard, the game's over in turn 2 and we drink beer, more drink. I mean, that's fine too. So
yeah. I was almost thinking like I just can't see how it's going to work very well. Would be like almost like a bit of a handicap system going off your list. So like obviously, for big monsters, dragons, blah blah blah, you might have like a points handicap, but instead of like the shittier list per se might start with 4 points or 5 points, and it just goes off like what your list contains. But then I was thinking, well, the problem with that is you might just have somebody who's not a very good player but just happens to have a net list. It's not going to be real fair for them, sort of thing. To a certain degree.
Sort of the whole almost Swedish compish in a way, but like not off your tournament point, but I don't know. I mean, that's a whole different discussion there, and I think even one of our chats went off like that the other night or something about whether or comp's going to be required, and maybe it will be, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like if it is, you'd use it. If not, it doesn't matter. It's all fun. It's all a game at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So again, such a small tournament, I'd be really focusing on trying to make it like a narrative thing rather than tournament almost. You know what I mean? Like, you can have a lot of fun with it, and just you make prizes for if someone does a certain thing with a unit,
heroic act thing, or
like heroic act type stuff. You can make it quite a casual affair.
I think so.
Where the results and the outcome and how many battle points you actually score is not as important. Because when you're playing with 8 guys, and as you say, you know them all, they're all friends. It sort of just becomes almost just a game day.
Plus, I think if it's got anything to do with what Cam asked me and it's in January, you're going to be too busy to like come up with anything too complex as well at the same time, I'd imagine. So Anyway, cool. Okay.
A smaller event like that. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I don't think I've ever been to one that small. That
no, I
feel like it
played a couple.
For it, you know what I mean? Like it hadn't been designed. It had been designed for a large amount of people, so it didn't work that well.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you had an event where you're intending to have it for 8 people and you design it like that, I reckon it'd be really intimate and it'd be quite
that's
fun.
true. Oh, maybe we can get involved and help that, and then maybe we've got a pack that people can use or something. I don't know. Because I did say, obviously, we could probably drag enough people together that we know. Obviously, Josh's wrong state, but I'm sure Andrew and people we know would be available. So, yeah. Cool.
Yes.
Well, Josh, you're going to ask Andrew this, eh?
Oh, yes. Eugene. Yes. What are the events you guys are... what are the next events you guys are planning to go to? Andrew taking a break from the high elves? ? Have you chaps had any discussions about merch? ? Do you want to answer your question first, Andrew?
Yeah, sure. No, I haven't taken a break. I just don't. I've just got problems with commitment. If anybody hasn't realised that by now, I get very bored easily and I get inspired very easily. So, yeah, I don't know.
I'm assuming you're cutting up and doing stuff with Chaos Dwarves at the moment, though, aren't you?
The bloody hats.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll talk about that one later. But no, they're definitely they'll definitely still be coming out. It's just trying to, especially when we're doing bat reps, it's good to mix and match. It gets a bit stale when you got the same factions in the bat rep all the time. So
yeah, that's the thing. We take it for the team, don't we? We don't play to the. I know we should play 20 games at once, but we don't of the same one. But
yeah, you guys.
Josh is the one who holds that down.
Yeah. Well, I only play one faction, but I don't actually play many games with it, so I end up playing about the same number of games as you guys playing with each of your individual factions.
Yeah, probably.
The next event.
Yeah, I can probably answer. Oh, sorry. Yes, do you want to do the event one first? Yeah. What are the next events?
Yeah. Let's do that one next. I'm intending to go to. I'm going to CanCon. I'm definitely going to that.
Cool.
There is just the other day, for anyone interested in Melbourne, Axemaster was just announced as a tournament that's going to happen in Hampton Games Club. That's on the 14th of December. We should probably put a link in the show notes, actually, just for
I've got links all here, so actually I might do that
because it was only got announced the other day. I can't actually go to it because I'm actually working. Of course. So probably the Old World games, the Old World tournament I'm going is probably CanCon because I can't go to Axemaster. But there is a 6-ed event going on the 7th of December, so I'm probably going to go to that, but that doesn't count for this for the purposes of this discussion.
I still have not brought this because there's a chance I won't be here on the 30th of November, 1st of December, but because I might have to go for like an early Christmas to the other side, like my wife's side of the family. But we haven't actually sorted that out. And if that doesn't happen, then I'm still tempted to drive to Canberra to get HeroCon on the 30th of November because I'm not going to CanCon. So it's going to be a bit of a break of big tournaments. So I might try. I should actually try to sort that in the next week to make that decision and sort it out, actually. So that might be my next one. I don't know when yours is, Andrew.
Yeah, so I don't think, unfortunately, I was so keen on CanCon, but I think the 3 days is just going to kill me.
Oh, no.
I'm the same with Gomo where, like, my daughter's birthday is on the 27th, which makes it, like, horrendously bad to be doing back-to-back sort of CanCons. Well, not necessarily back-to-back, but, yeah, I think I just need to have a break. This year, so I'm not too sure. I mean, I might have a look at HeroCon possibly if Gomo's going as well. If not, I was keen to get onto Good Games Maitland seems to be doing one day.
There's one next this week, Good Games Maitland, but I'm out for that one. Every time they're on, I'm like, it just doesn't line up. And it sucks because I think they're really trying to push it. I'm really glad they are because that's close to us for those who know. Just a little gaming store, but you can't do all of it. So maybe that's an option if I can't make it to HeroCon. Maybe they'll have one on like the second week of December or something, and I can get to it or something. I don't know. Yeah, because one day I've never done a 1-day tournament yet, so I'd be open to that.
Can have done with
merch. What are we? Let's have an on-air discussion about what merch we're about to put out.
Sorry, I just coughed. I mean, the issue. So yes, I guess we've thought about. You know where we're stuck. I'll be honest, we're stuck. Huh?
Never crossed my mind that we'd ever do merch. To be honest,
didn't it? Okay, so I've talked to Andrew about it one time. But the issue, I don't know. I'm anal as, and I'm stuck on our logo. That it's quite complicated, and I was starting to think about simplifying and having it. That was all AI, so something that's a bit more definite related to us and stuff. And then that got because then we could do dice as well and all this. And then I sort of got sidetracked and never got anywhere with it. So we had a few people reach out saying they could probably help, but it's a tough job. So, but yeah, I'd like to, because I think that'd be pretty cool, especially like having some dice or some, hoodies, or because most stuff's cheap. You don't even actually pay for it. You just drop ship it. If people want to support the show, go for it. And, we get $5 or something, it's kind of cool.
If we need a simpler logo, like if we're going to do dice or something, we could totally have like just an OWF.
Yeah, well, that's where I was going with it. Yes, exactly. And it made me look at that, because then I've got today a bunch of too thin coat stuff, which I'll talk about later, and they put a few dice in, and they've just got text on theirs. So maybe that is a goer. I don't know. What do patrons want? Do they want to have big logos? Do they want something else? Any particular merch? Dice trays, dices, shirts. I don't know. Something.
Yeah, is it shirts? Oh my god. Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably.
I do like having dice like that. Like I still got some of the old Dwellers dice from years ago.
Yeah.
Never lost them.
They used to give them out at like tournaments and stuff. So
yeah, some of the tournaments they actually hosted, they sort of gave them all out, and it was awesome.
That is pretty awesome.
Tommy Dog said, "What's your favorite Warhammer mini of all time?" God, that's actually kind of hard, but there's a couple of classics that I think sit up there for me. But
what do you got?
Well, the Forest Dragon, it's one of the ones I've always loved. Never had an original, but I did get one. Andrew. But that was the first I've ever had it in the flesh and stuff. But that was one of the ones that, I just recall fondly from my youth. They're probably all older ones, not old, but yeah, I mean, they are.
Yeah. I mean, because there's a little bit of nostalgia, well, maybe a little bit more than a little bit of nostalgia going on there, but it's definitely part of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Looking back on those ones. It's what drew you to the hobby. It brings back those memories.
Yeah.
What do you got, Josh?
I've been thinking about this. And I gotta say, like, as a mixture, because I do like the sort of mid to oldish, like 5th and 6th ed models. For me, the Tristram the Troubadour mini, which is like the Breck guy who's like, he's a bard, the one. So he's got the lute on his back and he's singing and he's holding up a line. I just love the style of it. I know it's quite a simple mini, but it's just like classic 5th ed Bretonian style. I do like the Green Knight as well, but it doesn't have quite the same level of nostalgia to me.
That was,
I like
up
it.
there,
But...
Yeah. I think that, I don't know, that one just keeps ringing a bell purely because of how it wasn't it the dude's, what's his name's last sculpt before he blew his arm off or something? Was that one? Or am I getting confused?
I think so.
Perry?
Yeah.
So in my, if that's true, in my head, I'm like, maybe that's why I think it sits up there so much, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and it's an awesome mini. It's got so much more dynamism. What do you think, Andrew?
I'm going a little bit more modern, not super modern, but I think the Mortis engine is an awesome model. For when it came out, just like the ethereal sort of, the smoke with like, the ghost cloud sort of, I just thought that was next level. I still think it's it's not super old, but it's old enough and it just holds up so well.
Yeah, I mean, some of those newest, like I keep calling them new, but they're like, those 8th edition-y type sculpts. Just blew my, like when I came back into the hobby in 8th, I was like, wow, what the hell happened? Everything's just plastic and awesome. And even things like the steam tank, that was the first thing I bought when I came back in. It's probably still one of the best things I painted. But they're just and the Aztec, I guess the Slaughter one, that's one of my favorite that I've actually painted.
The 8th one
up there as well. So there's a few, but there's just when you start adding those newer ones on, and even some of the AOS sculpts they're doing these days, you're just like, wow, there is some good ones, that's for sure.
I still love the original. I don't know if that's 4th or 5th ed, the monopose Wood Elf Archer guys who were just like with their bow. That's
4th, I think, or 4th or 5th. Yeah, because there was one slightly before it, which was those came in the Regiment Renowned, which had separate head that you just switch between. It. Yeah, I've got a bunch of them, and then I've got those ones as well. But yeah.
They just
back when it was like dynamic pose was just like having a head that was interchangeable.
Yeah, pretty much.
It actually looked different.
Well, they went from that to like full monopose there for Vera's. Everything was just one.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, you're not even familiar with these interchangeable heads. All I know
like they came out in third ed, I think, third and fourth.
Yeah.
Were they plastic or metal?
Their first wave of plasticky stuff. Yeah. It came in a thing called Regiment Around. I think it was called Regiment Around. I bought 2 boxes because they had 60 figures in it. And it had 10, but it was 10 Skaven, 10 Wood Elves, 10 Dwarves, 10 Orcs, 10 Goblins, and 10 Dark Elves. And you had 60, and I bought 2 of them. And then at some point, my mates and I they bought it. They had the original plastic undead guys with those like bone chariots and, those type of ones. Did you remember those, like from third and fourth ed?
I think so.
When undead were undead and not like vamps and stuff. Yeah. So I bought a box of them as well because they came with I don't know how many. And so they were my undead for years until obviously started to get the newer stuff, but still got them somewhere. But yeah.
Sean asks, if you are playing in a tournament game and losing, will you try and preserve points or do you go for that 1% chance Hail Mary? There's a football reference for you, go on. Well,
I think from me and Andrew the other day when I just decided to do it in one game, I always forget, man. I really need to start, considering I did well at maths, I need to actually spend a bit more time when I play looking at how much I've killed versus how much I've lost. Because I generally don't care at that point. I probably sit there and go, I could try to kill that thing, and I try and focus on getting points, but not sort of doing the maths and going, oh shit, well hang on, is it worth getting it or should I pull back or that type of thing? So it's just playing more games and then caring about the winning more than just having fun, I guess. So I'd say I probably don't go. I'll probably go for the 1% chance more sometimes. Just stupid, but yeah.
Yeah, me too.
You do, Josh? Do you?
Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. Maybe people, it depends on how you perceive your opponent, I guess.
Yeah.
What they're actually doing. But I feel like none of us really learned a lesson from what Akhtar was telling us the other week.
Totally. That's what I mean. Like, I actually feel bad. So I don't know, maybe people can hear this over the year and a bit we've been running this. So I always go, I'm a defensive player, I've got to learn to be more aggressive. And then I start playing aggressive and then I hear, well, actually, maybe my defensive nature was probably okay, but I actually have to do it properly, which is I don't need to be trying to get in combat turn 2 and doing all this stuff. Like I can That's the bit that I'm probably totally not thinking ahead of. Like I'm trying to that's why my turn 1s, 2s and 3s take so long. When really, maybe you can be a bit like, well, I'm not going to move. I'm not going to expose myself in this turn. I'm going to just move up, try cast that spell, and that's it. Turn 1 done.
Yeah.
Like, like it depends on the game, but yeah.
How much do you go for the 1%, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm not that sort of player. Usually, I tend to be a little bit more. I'll hold back, as you've seen. I mean, that 6-ed tournament against I can't remember his name.
Yeah, the dwarf one.
Yeah, the dwarf player.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. I completely forgot his name. Yeah, just I just sat there and he sort of just sat there. So we just had this big Mexican standoff. And then other games like that. I think it just really depends on where you're standing as well. Like if you might be in a tournament, you don't go in half decent, you're sort of like, I want to play smart. You might have other tournaments where you're getting smashed and you don't really care. And you're just like, just send it. So
yeah.
You're there to have fun, like that's the thing. Like we can get a bit carried away with the competitive aspect of it, but to some extent, I really think you just have a lot more fun just throwing things up and just seeing what happens. And even if it goes horribly wrong, at least you had the fun of laughing at you guys.
Yeah. Troy.
It's almost like if I it's almost like if I went against a gun line. Not that you can do this, but all the time. I'd probably still go at it, but I'd be like, I'd deploy hard to one side or something. Yeah, I'd do something dumb where I'm like, okay, I'm coming from one side, so maybe, and maybe the right point is still not to do that at all. But I'd probably like, I wouldn't just go full send across the board, but yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I think in that situation, I probably done the same thing you did, Andrew. To be honest, that game, I think you get every right to do it. But
yeah,
it's
and
just
there's got to be repercussions, hey, for taking certain lists. People are going to play certain ways against you. Not that it's bad to bring a list if that's what you want to play. That's fine. I'm not saying what that guy's did anything wrong.
But if there's objectives in play and you're not playing to the objectives, you can get penalised for that, which I think is entirely fair.
Anyway, well, that's it. Like, in that situation, like you said, I mean, like he had a gun line and he was sort of forced, not forced, but I suppose he was playing smart as well. So trying to conserve points too. So
yeah. Miss Junk J said you don't have to answer this because it's kind of serious, but how do you deal with seasonal depression, if any of you deal with that, and do you think the hobby helps or makes it worse? So just clarifying, seasonal depression is in like winter to like summer to winter, or seasonal is in also just hobby. Just that's the seasonal depression, eh? Like, just to get down the dumps.
Just about the short days, the cold weather can be worse in certain areas of the world.
I guess here it's the well, it's seasonal difference, but like I'd probably do more hobby in winter than I would do in summer here, because obviously it's easy to go outside and it gets too bloody hot sitting around. But your paint dries up quick. I don't know if that's true, but probably does. Whereas winter, I tend to do more. You get more rainy days,
More hobby.
Yeah, more hobby.
I think that'd be the case for most people, wouldn't it? Like, isn't that why it's so popular?
Well, I just don't. But I'm saying seasonal depression.
They're so terrible.
Who gets seasonal depression because of summer? Maybe they do. I don't know. Do they?
Wait. Well, isn't that no? I don't think that's not really what she was asking. I think it's more about just seasonal depression in general, which is typically during winter, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I thought, especially in the States and things like that. Yeah, Europe.
But then that stops you on the hobby because you've got that. Got you. Okay, I'm caught up now.
So I think she's up there asking, does doing the hobby?
But
that name is very confusing. Yeah,
it is.
But I think they're asking, do you think the hobby helps when you are depressed seasonally like that? Like, or makes it worse is what they're asking. I would argue it helps.
Yeah,
I think it gives. Yeah, it makes you feel like you're achieving something. Whereas if you're just sort of stuck inside, without feeling like you're able to do anything productive, or like you get such satisfaction from it. Yeah. Actually, they go, it's not a very nice day out there. Excellent. I can paint some minis.
Oh, how good's a rainy day? Like, there's nothing better than my wife going, I just want to lay on the lounge and watch TV, and it's raining, and we've got nothing to do. I fucking love it. Let's do it. Because I am just sitting for it's like, she'll go, I'm so sorry we didn't do this is what I want.
Right. Well, my basing done. I did loads today. What are you talking about? Didn't do anything.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think like I've had problems. Obviously, being times where you're feeling a bit low and whatnot, and I find sometimes you do a bit of hobby, trying to perk yourself up, and it doesn't always work. And for me, I find like I almost try and disassociate it. So like I'll stop because I don't want to start having something doing that's forced, and then it almost becomes like a chore. So I definitely think that can be a bit of an issue as well. Like, sometimes you just got to stop and maybe just try, something else, like throw on a good movie like the old Lord of the Rings extended edition. It's good. Good few hours there to waste.
This is one of the best thing about our hobby, that it's got, like we talked about this last week, I think, like just so many ways to interact with it, and it doesn't always have to be getting that figure painted or playing that game. It can be listening to podcasts and be totally just detaching, getting some, because I mean you get inspiration from bloody anywhere, like for the next round. And I've always learned, I'm learning more and more as you get older, like like you do learn about discipline and motivation and how they're different, and discipline, like you need it definitely, like sit down, get the shit done. Like I think that's such an important skill. But But at the same time, and if especially things that aren't actually really matter in life, you know, they're not trying to, it's not your income, it's not your family. It's better just to rely on, a lot of the times rely on the motivation, I think, and go, if it's not there, don't worry about it. Don't stress yourself about it, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, so I think...
I think you both make a good point about that.
Yeah.
If you're not in the right mind frame, don't force yourself to do it.
Nah.
Mm.
And it's okay to take a break. Like I am in, and I don't know, there'd be a lot of people who probably listen in this same thing, is I'm in a Facebook group called Dad Hammer, I think it's called, which is like support for, you know, people, you know, dads, obviously. But I would imagine, and nothing against it, but I would imagine a number of posts a day are related to people, you know, young dads, young kids, and they're challenged, I'll say challenged, with trying to find hobby time, right? And I've continually said to people, it's okay to not hobby, and it may even mean you might not hobby for years. And that is still fine. Like, don't, like, yes, it's our right to hobby, and we should be able to, like, you know, have our break and our time. But there's bigger things, more important things. And sometimes being a dad and stepping up and doing that for years over your hobby is the right thing to do as well. Like, it's not always about, you know, taking your, I deserve X time every day. Like, I think that, and I think, but as a kid and as you go into young teens, you're used to having that. And then a life-changing thing happens. And all I would say is, hey, I guarantee it'll come back. You'll get that back. If you have to step away, you can always come back, unless they blow your world up. But that only happens occasionally, and then they eventually bring it back anyway. So, but ultimately, it'll still be there. Hopefully.
That's funny.
Oh, God.
Contrasting hobby said, have you found your painting style has changed as you got older, more experienced, and do you keep? Oh, actually, won't do that second one yet. Have you found your painting styles changed as you have got older or / more experienced?
Oh, okay. We should do that. The first half of the question, sure.
Yeah. The other one's too important.
Leave the other one for leave everyone in suspense as to what the second half of this question is for now. Hey, has it? I think it has. Like it totally would change. Like I think that's inevitable. I think just with time and practice, you just and like learning, hearing about different techniques and learning stuff off other videos and other painters, it does change. I think that whole hobby as a whole has changed a lot. Like even just 10 years ago, like the peak of the hobby in terms of like what people aspire to is very different to now too. I think that the whole scene does change. You know, I think it's inevitable that we change.
Does that mean you? Like, how have you found your painting style, or like has it gone because of the changes in style and like now contrast paints is a good example. For example, have you felt it go up and then back down and then up and then a bit weird, and like have you always got? I mean, you trended up, I would imagine, but if you got stuck, have you found the things that are in fad or the way to do things has actually helped or hindered occasionally, given that what you've known? Like if you could just sit back and paint, you know, layer paint, wash, highlight, or whatever it is, and that's how you did your painting, would you just get better? Or do you think them throwing the curveballs of contrast paint or something else, or how you do things, is that helped or hindered or just changed your style? I don't think
it's I've never seen the contrast paints as something that makes you necessarily a better painter. I mean, it did help maybe a little bit, but it's more an efficiency thing, I always thought.
Well, that's, I guess, my question. Like, I don't think contrast is making me a better painter, but it does help on other sides. So,
I mean, it helps for me to get a quick sort of shading bit of a color. Like, you get the contrast going, as in literally the color contrast of the as the paint goes down. Not I'm talking about contrast paint, but you just get a bit of shade, give it a highlight, and then you get the right color zone. So then you can start doing. I just usually then start doing layers on top of it. So it just saves me that extra step of doing a base coat and a shade. Although to some extent, what I actually do now is contrast and then layer and then shade and then layer highlight. So it doesn't really save me much time.
Well, I know, this is the thing. I seriously am thinking, given that hobbies, when I talked about hobby, just what turned up around something, but is sometimes I wonder, was it just more efficient and I didn't have to think when I could just do, in my case, black undercoat. Josh is going to go, God, black undercoat and just paint layers, wash, highlight, done. You know, now there's all these other, oh shit, I'm going to use contrast for that army. But if I do that, now I can't use my other paints for this because now I'm using contrast because I don't want to try and work out the color differences. And I'm like, now I'm confused myself.
Contrast is very limiting in a way. Like I find it's hard to remember. Like with layers, it's you can see what the color is.
Yes.
I mean?
This is what I'm getting at. This is what I'm saying. Like, is it actually helping us better or more experience? Or
you need a specific recipe. If you don't remember the name of the color, you can't just work out on the fly. And even if it's in your palette, you have no idea what color that is until you like, if you use a wet palette. If you've got some old contrast sitting in a little puddle, you can't just look at it like you could a layer paint and go, yeah,
plus,
I know what
depends
color
what you
that
put
is.
it over as well. Like if you did a really like white zenithal versus something else.
Oh yeah, sure. It completely changes. So you do need you almost need to work out your recipe and then you can repeat it. Or you just have certain contrasts that you like and then you can sort of know what to do with them. But yeah, it's different to layer paints.
I would say it's helped me speed up. So if I had to like sit here and paint 2,000 points tomorrow, not tomorrow, but like brand new 3D printed army. You could probably smash it out and it would look playable. I think that's helped. But
does it help you paint new minis like without a recipe or a guide? Like if you just were throwing a mini, like the Jinx, for example. No,
like the what?
Like the Jinx.
No. See, I'm not. I mean, this is not the question, but I am not I'm a paint by numbers. Give me the fit. Let me go to YouTube or whatever and look at what people have painted, then I'll just paint that. Like I don't sit there and go, what should I paint? Like I'm not creative like that at all. I don't know what it is. I'm a paint by numbers.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'll throw in a different sort of equation in there with your painting. As I've got older, my eyesight's worse, which means I'm less finicky because I can't see the bloody highlights anyway. So I'm just less picky on detail, like heaps less picky. I've gone from trying to put in every tiny little detail of highlighting and stuff on armor just to tabletop. I'll put it down. I can't see the difference anyway. So
you can't. And that's interesting because that's sort of where the conversation of, because when that question got asked in the Patreon chat, there was a whole bunch of people that like answered it. The Patreons.
Yeah.
And there was a few of them were like, yeah, I used to spend a lot of time try to get like display level paint, like armies. And I realized that they all look the same on the tabletop and I was wasting time. So to really get more enjoyment out of their hobby I just felt like you sort of go down that road of let's just get paint on everything, just tabletop it. And then I can play with it. Don't have to spend all this time painting on one army when I can get a bunch more stuff done and then use it all.
Yeah, true. And I think it goes hand in hand with 3D printing because then you can pump stuff out. I don't mean that like, I know it's funny too, but it's you know what I mean? Like it's more accessible to get figures almost quicker. And you go, I'll try that. So you smash it out and then you go, like I'm literally printing lots of chariots at the moment. If I don't end up using them, it's not that big a deal.
I even say you're printing more skeletons, 140 roughly.
Yeah. But like that's the thing, like so it's like weird. In some sense, it's really cool that the styles change and you can get it out on there. And then, but on the other hand, it's like, are they display pieces anymore? I don't know. So, anyway, that wasn't actually a good one. That was a good question. It was a bit deep. The deeper question, the contrasting hobby said was, do you keep your sauce in the fridge or the cupboard? This will divide. We're going to either all agree or there'll be a winner. Yeah. So what? I'm not winner because maybe there is a right answer.
Fridge.
Oh.
I'm not answering till you answer. You're saying cupboard?
Yeah.
I don't have any sauce in the house.
Wow. Okay. Well, we don't answer that. We don't know. We'll have to wait till we get a guest on.
Tie. It's a tied score.
Yeah. That's funny. It's so weird because there's certain sauces that I had to put in the fridge, but in terms of barbecue and tomato and stuff, for some reason, goes in the cupboard. And it even says on the package, refrigerator after opening. I'm pretty sure I've looked at it before.
Yeah.
I guess I will put a vote in. Now I'm thinking about other sauces. The soy sauce goes in the fridge.
Yeah, same. I put soy sauce. That's what I mean. I put soy sauce in the fridge too. So I don't. There's no logic. I have no idea All I can say is I married someone who also put it in the cupboard, so it wasn't an issue. I don't know. Like,
That's where it goes.
yeah, don't know.
Yeah.
I remember in my childhood opening a sauce bottle that was in the cupboard and it was like full of mold. So,
Ooh.
you know, there you go.
There you go.
It was just white.
Just
Nice.
What the hell?
Yeah, yeah.
Quite
I don't
unpleasant
know.
experience as a
In
12-year-old.
hindsight, I don't know why it isn't in there, but I don't know. It's really weird, unless it's an Australian. Given Australia is so hot, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why it's the thing, but it is. Cool. Let's get on. Thank you, patrons. It's so good we can just smash through topics.
I liked how there
without
was
actually
a
having
photo
topics.
of Space Marines in a fridge, by the
Oh,
way.
how funny
Really
it
cool
was.
Space
Okay,
Marine.
we have to, let's bring that up because that was funny. Well, I probably won't bring that picture up, but yeah, this whole question spawned a whole other chat, and then contrasting hobby also. Was it contrasting hobby you said?
Yeah, it
that?
was contrasting hobby. The
Yeah.
guy who asked the question.
Yeah, he said he are they salamanders? I don't even know, but anyway, they're 5 Space Marines in a
I don't know.
fridge, and he put it as it's the only way to make Space Marines cool. Rim shot.
Ooh.
I thought that was funny.
Shots fired.
Shots fired.
That was Tommy Dogs, but yeah.
And they're literally in a fridge because I can
Yeah.
see the twin cooling. I swear that's an LG fridge, but who knows? Anyway, cool. Jordan Sorcery's quiz. I'm going to bring that up quickly.
Yep,
And you
let's do
guys
it.
are going to just totally smash it out of the park because I know how good.
On the trajectory we're going at, we're totally. We got what? We've gone from what 30% to 40%. I think we might get half.
Mm.
We're gonna be smashing it.
Got
What's
it.
the what's the
for it.
topic? What's the topic? I'm
Seems
dreading
like-
this.
Oh, it's Halloween. Oh, so Andrew will
Oh,
pull this
God.
through with his vamps, hopefully. That vamp knowledge, although this isn't.
Look at
vamp.
that. Look at that
Which
first
of
question.
these Zentian horrors was sculpted by Trish Carden, which is Trish Morrison, the old, like, Trish Carden is her, I guess it's a maiden name, I don't know. The Squawker, A, the B, Licker, C, Jogger, or D, Drummer. Ooh. I'm going to go down to, I think I've got 2. I don't know. I think I've got one, but I don't know if it's the right answer. Have you guys picked?
I'm gonna squawker.
That's okay. That's what I did.
I was,
I was close to doing D for drummer. Okay, cool. Okay, so we've got A and okay, cool.
I was A and D. I was somewhere between them.
So, isn't the C quite new?
That's the 6-head one, isn't it?
Ah, 6-8 is it? Okay, and the B's the one I've got a crap ton of, but who knows?
Yeah.
Who shared writing credit with Rick Priestley on Realms of Chaos and Lost and the Damned? Oh, sorry, on Realms of Chaos, The Lost and the Damned. Richard Halliwell, Jervis Johnson, Dean Bass, or Brian Ansell? I feel like this is a trick question.
I have no idea.
I'm going to go D. I don't know. Brian was the
Nice.
big instigator of chaos, so I thought maybe he might be involved in that, but I don't know. Cool. Got
Sounds
what?
good
You
to
got
me.
your answers,
Great.
Josh? Doesn't
D.
matter.
Fine.
Sorry, Andrew.
Fine.
Yeah,
Are
sure.
we all having your own
D.
answers, or are we answering
Ah,
as a trio?
Doesn't matter. Just remember an answer. Doesn't matter. Which of these is an ogre from Warhammer Fantasy and not an episode of the X-Files? Okay, so one of them. Okay, Zazgrat the Lucky, Sure Kill, Fresh Bones, or the Amazing Melini. I'm sorry, on the audio podcast, I didn't
wait,
even
so
read out the answers to the previous question. So sorry.
Oh, whoops. Yeah.
It was Richard Halliwell, Jervis Johnson, Dean Bass, or Brian Ansell. FYI, the
Okay.
other
And
one.
we
But
were
this
hoping
one
it's
is
Brian.
which
Yeah.
of these is an ogre from
Yes.
Warhammer Fantasy? Zagrat the Lucky, Sure Kill, Fresh Bones, the Amazing Melini. Melini? Is that how you say that?
Melini? I don't think
It's got to be
I'm
A
going-
or D.
I'm
Surely.
just going A because it's the only thing that sounds Warhammery, but I don't know.
I'm gonna go the Amazing Melini.
Okay, cool.
Just because it's
Okay.
a trick question.
I'll go A
It's
too.
ridiculous.
As
Which of
Yeah,
these
yeah.
is okay? Cool. Which of these is a scenario for Call of Cthulhu published by Games Workshop? I'm not going to have this. A, the disappearing chaos. B, the vanishing conjurer. C, the faded conjurer. And D, the evaporated horror. What the hell? I had no idea.
These are super hard.
I'm going to go. Well, was it? If you don't know, just choose C.
I have literally no idea. The faded sorcerer.
I barely know it when it's Games Workshop. When it's not Games, like I know that's Games Workshop, but like when it's not Warhammer, and when it's Games Workshop and not Warhammer, no idea. Which artist created the cover for Warhammer Armies Undead? Oh yeah, Dave Gallagher, Wayne England, Mark Gibbons, or Adrian Smith. I can picture it. It's the black background with the
the purple guy.
Yeah. But I was never that big on the artists' names.
No, he's artists, designers. Yeah.
I'm going to go A.
Completely wrong wise about this.
Could be Wayne England. It could be Mark Gibbons. It might have been Adrian Smith. I don't know.
Could be Wayne England. Could be any of them.
Okay. There it is. There.
There's the example. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I know the image, just not the artist.
D was the drummer, and we all went A, didn't we? No, sorry, Andrew went D.
Andrew went G.
Brian Ansell was D for the second one. Oh, I got that. Vazgrat the Lucky. So I got that one too. That was A. And then the one I had no idea about was B, the Vanishing Conjurer. I definitely didn't get that one. Did anyone get that one?
No.
I believe I said the Vanishing Conjurer. I believe.
He did? There you go. You got it. And then A was Dave Gallagher, which, did I say that? I think I might have.
Yeah, I think you did. You did say Dave Gallagher.
I might have got 3 out of 5, and I can tell you without a shadow of doubt that only one of them was one that I even thought I got right. The others were guesses.
I got 5 from 5, thank you. But 2
Did you get 5? Why did you go
Zagrad
as well?
Yeah, because it sounded Warhammerish.
Wow. Oh well. Yeah. We should have been counting these, adding them up, and then Andrew could get into some world's category.
Well, 2 of them I had no idea, and I just went with Gomo. So
but that's okay.
Gomo haven't choose correctly.
Yeah, well, I don't know any, like you said, I know no artists, I know no sculptors. I'm not that guy.
That's cool, man. Oh, well, 5 out of 5. That's by far the best. I think the most we had was 3 before that. So you smashed it out of the park. Cool. Thanks,
3 lucky guesses.
What did you guys get up to with Hobby? Or do you want to do a quick shout out for tournaments in Australia?
Yeah.
Because we already talked about a couple. We've got Good Games Maitland coming up this weekend. If people are still going, if you're around here, go get over there. There is Old Hammer Spring Break, which I believe, let me just find that, is on Best Coast Pairings. I'll just find out where it is for you. That is at Blacktown RSL. It's a 1,500 pointer on the 9th of November. So that's the guys. I think a lot of these guys they run the 2D6 podcast. I think maybe I might be wrong there, but probably worth getting out to those ones. Let me look at the names and see if it is. Yep. Oh, Paddy's going there with Tomb Kings.
Ooh.
Keith's going there. Mark's going there. Mark Hurwitz. He plays Wood Elves a lot, but he's taking High Elves by look. Interesting. There's some. Well, that looks like going to be a good one. 1,500 points is quite interesting because 2-dayer as well. Blacktown.
It's a 2-dayer.
Sold out, but that's not too far. Then we got on the same weekend, 10th of November. I think this one might be over in. Is this the one that's over in WA? Sorry, I should bring up this a bit easier. Looking on another screen. Sorry. South Australia, TTW Prospect Old World, which is a 1-dayer at South Australia with 18 tickets, 5 left, I think, on that one. And then, like I was saying, the end of November is HeroCon down in Canberra. And then we have Anarchy at Annerley. That's the WA one, I believe. Is that right? Is Annerley West Australia?
I'm from there. I've never heard of that.
Why do I think it is? One of these Queensland? Is WA, I'm pretty sure. Oh, is it Queensland, that one? Okay, I thought we had a WA one in the list. Yes, you're right. Annalee, Queensland, Ipswich Road.
Oh.
Yep. Actually run by, well, I think it might be run by the guy who might have won the birthday. Was it birthday slaughter? That is it. Yeah, up at what's we call it? What's his name? My brain's dead tonight. That Daniel runs up at his place at Kings. What's it called? Kingsley, is it up in Queensland? He just
is it Travis?
Won that.
Oh, is that the patio one?
Yeah, it's Daniel runs. It's Starkley.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't know that because I'm chatting with him right in my chats over here. But yeah, my brain's not on at the moment. But yeah, it sounds like there's another Queensland one there, and then Axemaster, like you said, Josh, on the 14th of December. So there's a few, that's good. 6 still. There's probably another one to pop up at some point, and there's probably a few we're missing. But yeah, if you're in Australia, there's a few coming. So get in there, and then I guess after that we'll hit the new year, and then we'll probably have Empire out by then, and then we hopefully changing meta again. So,
yeah, because there won't be any more tournaments through to Christmas. Surely,
no, probably not. This is probably the last bit, but I mean, it's pretty good to see how many. What's that? So that's like 2 months. This is only like 6 weeks that I've got in this of those ones. So between the 1st of November to the 14th of December, that's 6 tournaments.
Yeah,
pretty good. And that's not including things like if Good Games throw up another one, there's probably going to be a Sydney, like little ones that pop up. That's pretty healthy for Australia, like on this first bit that, seems like it's even more than what was happening with Fantasy back in 8th, like in terms of the frequency of them.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Lots of little ones. Yeah.
Running pretty hot.
Yeah. It feels like there wasn't as many one-dayers and small ones that like had to be big or go home, whereas now it feels like there's
there were a bunch of really massive 8th ones, wasn't there? Like I think CanCon was, and Castle were both like 100-ish players, but we didn't seem to have as many other. I agree, as many other sort of small ones. So it's cool.
Cool. Well, let's we're gonna look through some of these. Well, not these lists, but some of the other tournaments. We'll talk about the meta stuff. But did anyone get any hobby done? Because I mean, Josh wasn't even here. Sounds like Andrew is the one that's done more hobby than all of us.
Yeah, well, I've got Project Z currently.
What? Project Z?
Yeah.
Secret project.
Project Z. So I don't know. I was trying to keep it under wraps, but Gomo's giving out all the good goss. It's like the master of whispers.
Oh, is that when I said something about Cows to Wolves?
So...
because you were asking me ironically about Black Orcs.
Black Orcs, yeah. So I'm currently trying to get us some Cows to Wolves.
What is that? That's a Bull Taurus. What a Bale Taurus. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So I'm throwing this bloke together. Forge World, I haven't experienced how shit Forge World really can be. And yeah, it's frigging garbage.
Right.
So the detail's good. But yeah, like the amount of parts I've got to throw into the old boiling water, re-straighten.
That's annoying.
Man, I had some gaps, some really big gaps between the body and the head of the Taurus.
Is that like one of the? Is it worth printing one of the ones that I shared with you? That White Angel.
Yeah, but then I've got all these.
Are they a bit different?
No. Oh, you can definitely print them. There's some really good ones around, and I mean, if I had my time again, I obviously wouldn't have bought these guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably one of the bigger issues I've had was using green stuff. And I was trying to just obviously fill around the neck, just because it had some really, really big gaps. And I don't know if I just suck at green stuff. Well, I do. I suck at it because clearly I couldn't get it to work very well. But I found, I don't know, I've never really used green stuff all that much before. I've had more like liquid gap fillers for smaller. Yeah, and I was just wondering. So like I'm using the P3 gap filler, the green stuff. Well, it's not green, but man, it's hard. It is really, really hard. Does normal green stuff get quite soft? Is that or is it still quite a hard sort of
I would
substance?
not say I'm awesome at it, but the green stuff I've used, I'd say I wouldn't say it's soft like Play-Doh. It's stiff, but I mean, you run it in your hands and it's malleable and everything. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like to anything, to me, it's a bit sticky, and then you have to like decide if you want to put a bit of moisture on it or not. I don't know, Josh, if that's what you're supposed to do, but
You've always got to use moisture, to keep the stickiness under control.
Yeah, but it's malleable, but it's not like soft, like, I don't know.
It's just soft enough that it keeps its shape.
Yeah,
like you just got the right amount of firmness for that. It doesn't feel too hard. Like that's
I would not
shape.
describe it as hard. If it's hard, maybe it started to.
Maybe mine's gone off. I don't know if they've got an expiration date because
I didn't see that's still red and blue, isn't it? Is that an epoxy?
How old is that?
I can't even see it because it looks the same color.
No, it's like a grey. It's a light grey and a really, really dark grey, like a.
Oh, okay, so it is 2-part. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but no, it's like I've had to cut it off with cutters, like hobby cutters.
No.
And I'm like full, just sort of like getting into it, like really massage, a sort of real therapeutic massage, just trying to get in there and get some heat in there. And it was just, it was not soft at all. So maybe that was my problem. It's either gone off or maybe it's just a different type of.
Unless it's just dried out. It needs more moisture or something.
I think they do that because I had an old, I don't know, they weren't GW, but whatever it was, but the red and blue one, and I threw it out because it got stiff. Even though I hadn't mixed it, but it obviously does. Especially the middle bit gets totally hard where it is actually joined together.
Yeah, right.
Milliput works really well too. The super fine Milliput, I like that too. And sometimes I'll mix it with the green stuff if you want to have a slightly softer.
So here comes the knowledge.
Yeah, because I really wanted something that I could just like push into the cracks and then basically just almost run a finger on it or something like that.
Is that what you want?
Off the excess
resin.
Yeah, that's when you use Milliput. Because Milliput takes a lot of water, and Milliput, you can actually get a really almost runny consistency if you put enough water into it. So you can really have it so soft that you can just stick it in and then just wipe it off and just have a little bit left in the crack. So often for the tiny cracks, I will use Milliput over green stuff just because, you can get it really an extremely soft texture if you want it to be. It's very flexible.
It'll be somewhere in the middle, just like, like almost like a runny sort of Play-Doh. Not runny, but like, something where you can put it in the cracks and it's not going to run out sort of thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So the Milliput is very adaptable. Like you can adjust it really a lot. So it starts off at like slightly softer than green stuff where it is sort of a bit more like Play-Doh.
Yeah.
But you can make it softer if you want by adding additional, like more water. But so you can really adjust that. So you start off at a level that is probably a little bit more firm than you want, but then you just add a bit of water, and you can make it the texture that you want it to be.
All right, I have to hunt some of this down.
Yeah, this
Milliput. Yeah,
I swear you can get that at
super fine white. I'm pretty sure I bought one of these at the
Hobby Case. Frontline's got it everywhere.
Frontline. I think I bought this at Frontline.
Oh, right.
Back when I was living there.
But something
for like $8, and it's lasted me for 15 years.
Well. Yeah, was it? Wow. Okay, there you go.
Well, I'm going to Frontline tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to do that. I need to get some stuff. Oh, cool. Oh, that sounds good. Well, I'm interested to see. I would love to see what your Chaos Dwarves do because I wouldn't mind playing against
Project X.
Them. Yeah.
I thought Project Z.
Well, that'd be basically orcs.
Oh, there you go. Project Z. Project
I did get surprisingly, considering I've been away for 5 days, I did get, it wasn't really hobby, but it was thought hobby done.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll throw this out. I've actually been working on a scenario based on your suggestion, Gobbo, from last week. Because I was thinking about the Last Stand, and the whole concept of having like the
Can you try to zoom that in at all or not? Or was that as
I can't zoom it in.
No, you can't. Okay, that's
can't zoom it in. But the idea is that I'm going to fork the Last Stand into 2 scenarios. So I'm going to retain the old one, but I'm going to have this one as another result where you do have part of the defender's army come on the start of turn 4 as reinforcements. So it's essentially the total points values are the same for both sides. Just the attacker starts with both his whole army on the board, and the defender has 2/3.
Incentivized to like do as much damage as possible.
Yeah, in the first 4 turns.
Yeah.
And then the attacker comes, like the defender, has his reinforcements, his relief force come on the board, about 750 points. They can charge the turn they arrive. And they sort of come on sort of the center of either long edges.
Oh, that's
of the board.
what that dark bit on
that's
the top
what
and the bottom there. Yep.
At the top of the bottom is. So he actually, what I've got is the defender writes down the start of the game which side the relief army is coming on.
Gotcha.
But the attacker doesn't know what side it is. You know, so there's a little bit of bluffing about that. And then it's the idea that the attacker needs to get in there, do as much damage as they can to the defender. The defender has those guys come on, and whoever has the most units in the center deployment zone at the end of the game gets a pretty significant sort of victory point bonus. So it's actually a scenario that it actually uses the same amount of points both sides. So I haven't play tested it yet. I'll need to sit down and play test it a bit just to make sure it's functional. But that's the concept that I've got going for it.
I like it. Yeah. Okay, that'd be cool. Yeah, I think we need to organize this. I need to get those artworks for those scenario boards that you use, like the pictures that you're using for the tables. Like, where'd you get them from? Did you just cut them out of the rule book, or did you get them from? Because I know Paddy was using ones like that too back in CanCon.
I basically, when I've got it, I was using the PDF from the 8th ed book as the source, and then I was just using Photoshop to fiddle around with it, cut and paste it, change where the lines are going.
Building
and then because
Canva
page
version,
because maybe I use Photoshop because it's got this weird sort of repair, like auto repair AI tool that just joins the lines together and stuff. And I'm like, oh my god, this is like
works.
so much easier.
Because I've used that for other things, but not that. Okay, cool. I might, because it'd be cool to come up with the set of the main ones, and then I'd be cool. We should bring up, like, have a go at making a scenario each that's definitely old world specific. Just different stuff. I reckon that'd be cool. But it needs a little bit of thought. And then maybe even me and Andrew can play one. Maybe the patrons or someone can vote which one was a better one, and we'll give it a go.
Oh, I'd love to go with a scenario.
Yeah.
Scenarios is something that I almost
you love it and the narrative, but I guess the trick, and I'm not saying you don't do this, but it'd be cool to like think about them from a point of view of like they're just one-off games. They're just fun. They're not like a scenario, or it's not moving. It's not narrative. It's not trying to do anything. Course. But something that potentially could be, like a rule book one. But so it's sort of simple, but not simple.
Broad enough that it could be considered
just
a rule
pick
book
up
scenario.
game it almost. But it would, so thinking about, is this to balance it or not? And I'm not saying it needs it. It'd be fun just to add a bit more variety in, which would be cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, I haven't done a lot of actual stuff. I've just printed, and it's just a mess, and I'm embarrassed. I think that tub it's got like 8 Avatars of War, and what's the other one? I think it might.
How many tubs you got now? It's still the same tub?
No, I need to clean up. Because I've also got a couple of Outriders sitting over here as well.
So you've doubled in a week. What was the other photo from? Was that 2 weeks ago?
Oh, the Night Goblins were the other one. I had 40. I'd printed nearly 60 Night Goblin archers.
60 different archers. Oh my god! I was joking about the 140 skeletons, but you're printing off.
Well, that was the other week. Like I was trying. Remember, I was saying the Highlands versus the Beholder miniatures.
Yeah, but I didn't realize you were printing off a unit of 60.
Well, it was 28 of each, and then 20 of the other ones. So it's nearly 60 of that are just sitting there. I'll slowly move through them.
Yeah.
But that's not to do the 90. That's just to replace my 60 Battle for the Skull Pass ones. Yeah, that's what that's for. Yeah. But these chariots are just sitting there. And then I had 2 of them sort of glued together. And then my dog knocked one off and snapped it. And I was like, and anyway, so I started gluing. I should have taken a picture of it, actually. Started gluing the Beholder miniature ones together. But they just don't stand up too well against. The avatars are actually pretty good. They're a bit bigger. That's an avatars. I'll see if I can show you Why am I not? Why is that not moving? Hang on, sorry, I'm in the wrong bloody screen. The Avatars of War one. I'm just using the 2 wolf one.
Oh yeah.
It's just quite large. Like, so I'm doing 2 more of them at 95% to bring them down a bit. So that way they'll all be a little different. And I actually like, I haven't got any pictures here, but the spearman and the whip guy that can sit, well, either stands here or sits on like the guy with the spear. I think I like him better than the Beholder Miniatures one, even though the chariot for Beholder Miniatures is a bit smaller and stuff. So I thought I might do a few of them. That way they can join together if they want to be units. But I might actually use the goblins from Avatars and then just mix them together a bit. And that way I'll have...
So mate, in like a little crow's nest.
Yeah, so 2 of them are the character model ones. So you got this dude up in a crow's nest and you've got enough room to put like a character model on. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Or the this middle bit is a different print. You either get this one or you get that one with a wolf in the middle. So you got the 3 of them.
Oh yeah,
cool.
So it comes in a couple of different designs. So I'm just gonna have a mix of them. There'll be about 8, and there'll be 4 of the avatars and 4 of the other ones, but they'll be all slightly different sizes and a mix of different goblins and stuff, just to mix it up a bit. And I think they'll be okay. But this one,
100 by 50 base.
Yeah, because it's the light chariot, so it's smaller. Yeah, I think the free one's supposed to be on the bigger one. That was, remember what I was saying to you? Like, what's annoying? Like, it's a bit annoying, like, because it's an upgrade. You sort of think, well, it's annoying to have to be on a different base just to do an upgrade.
Oh
like,
yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like,
it just looks really, it looks really big on the base. That's all.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is just hanging off the 50, and that's why it almost needs the 60. But then, because this model is designed to just have a third wolf in the middle.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's already as wide as it's going to be.
Meant to be
But these, these blades are like, you can't rank it up, so you have to cut them off. Or what I thought, that's why I thought I'll do 4 of these ones. The bigger ones I'll use for characters, and then the other 4, which are a bit smaller, will rank up easier if I want to put them in like units, because you know how the wolf rides, the wolf chariots can go to units. Because I was thinking of that, but then maybe I shouldn't. But I was thinking of putting 2 into units of 2, and then a few in units of 1, and just mix it around. But yeah, I don't know. Only because it's more the impact hit. Sometimes you feel like if you got 2 and coming in, you might do a bit more and smash something out. But then I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you got to. I think you do try to get more than 1 in at a time.
Yeah,
but at the same time, having them scattered around individually means you've got more options in terms of which combination of the 2 chariots are going in at once. So I think having a mixture of 2s and 1s.
Yeah, well, it's just gives you
I wouldn't have them all in
there's
pairs.
no way these ones are ranking up because these big barb things hanging off the side are just huge. So
yeah, I mean, I agree. I'd be tempted to cut it. I don't know, like how spiky are these wood elf wolf chariots supposed to be? Like, this model looks a lot more intimidating to me than I normally feel like a wolf chariot. Like wolf chariot.
Well, I think what I might try do, I don't know. I was thinking with the shaman is maybe try to find a cool looking shaman to place this guy and have him on the thing or something. I don't know.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
Play around. I want to find a different. If anyone knows of a cool goblin shaman to print, because I do have a bunch of them, but a lot of them night goblins, to be honest. So I feel like it'd be cool to find a cool, just standard shaman print. And obviously, he can be on foot, and I'll just put him on the chariot. So, but yeah, this came today, and I kickstarted. It's wave 3 of Tooth and Coats. It just came today. So I bought it ages ago. Forgot about it.
That's a crap load of paint.
It is, but it makes me now want to buy the rest of them because they gave you this chart. I'm going through it going, oh, yeah, there is actually heaps more than what I've got because there's 3 waves now.
It's like 60 paints in that box.
Yeah, there's 9 by 7, I think it is. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, because there's a row there you can't see, and then there's 9. Yeah, 50, yeah, 63 or something. Plus, you get a phone holder they throw in. See this little phone holder, stickers, 3 dice, and a little dice tray. So it's pretty cool.
So how does this fit in with the paints you've got already? Like, what are you using these for?
It was a Kickstarter. Just decided to get them.
Okay.
I just bought this. I literally bought this ages ago. You know, Kickstarter. It's like you put it in.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
beginning of the year or
Last
something.
year or so.
I just wanted to try it to have a go of like painting their method and stuff. But plus, I thought I've heard good things that these go through airbrush pretty good and stuff. I don't know. Just give me
do
more
they?
colours.
They're
Yeah.
quite
I mean,
thin.
obviously, you probably need to thin them still, but I think they're pretty good.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, there's washes, there's effects paints and stuff in this, and metallics in this set. But the problem is they gave you this chart. I don't think there was an easy way to tell you what was in wave 3 versus 2 and 1. So I'm going to probably have to like draw around the ones I've actually got, because I don't have all these, because these are just the wave 3 paints. So there's a mix
Surely
of them.
you've got
you know,
other
you've
paints that are sort of similar.
Oh yeah, it's fine, but it's just, I don't know. Looking at this thing, I'm going, oh, that looks cool. I might use this triad, and then you go, oh, I don't have it, so I might have to. And maybe it is written on there. I don't know. I couldn't even see it. Have you got any of these paints, Josh?
No.
Okay, yeah. Because I would have thought, maybe I'm just blind, that they would have written or put something on the paints to highlight what the triads are, as in, like, this is triad 57, and so the 3 paints all have the same number on them, but they're different shades. They do have numbers, but they're all numeric, so you can tell they're triads because they're next to each other in the numbers, but they're like 15372 and 15373 and like.
With those triads, I mean, that's a similar concept to what the Reaper paints used to have.
Yes,
like, is it? Yeah. Is it people that are doing this anything to do with the Reaper?
No, well, so Two Thin Coats is what's his name? Duncan Rhodes, the guy who was the main painter in Games Workshops on the Warhammer TV.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he went out and started his own, and this is his thing. Sorry, I thought that was
How does the paint? Have you used any of the paints yet? Like, is
literally
it
just
quite thin compared to normal layer paints? Like, what's the selling point?
They feel like they are a bit, yes. Like just from shaking them, and but like they don't feel like base. Yeah, they're thinner. That's why I thought people say they go through airbrush. Okay. Or
so that makes sense. This is why they would go through airbrush. Yeah.
So anyway, I'll give them a go. So
I must admit, I am sort of tempted to get some airbrush paints, guys. I don't know.
You said that the other day. Yes, that's right.
Talking to Ben at the end of the 6 podcast series, like, I've got a bunch of air paints and I just use that as base coat. Like, and it's actually quite easy. It doesn't get blocked, and you can use thinner for the
mix,
primer.
just less cleaner.
And suddenly I'm like,
thinner, I should say.
Maybe it is worth investing.
Well, this is where I was, and then I think I asked you about it, wasn't it? And you went, no, I don't. I'll just use whatever.
Well, I never bothered to.
Yeah.
I never bothered to.
Because I'm seriously wanting to paint at least one army all airbrush, just give it a go, like Beastman or whatever. So,
but I feel like you do need to have air paints to do it. Like I think trying to thin down layer paints, then to get the right texture is actually consistency is going to just be too much of a bother. Like to do it efficiently and reliably.
Yeah. And if you're doing an army, that probably will work
for a whole army.
You're not going to go out like the army's going to have a theme. So you're going to be like, what? You might get 10 paints.
Well, that's the thing. You're right. That's the other thing. Like, force yourself to go, no, fuck it. I'm not going to have 100 paints. I'm going to have 10.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the whole thing. Okay, that's the whole goal. Talking about that question about has your painting evolved? I wouldn't say it had. Well, maybe it hasn't, but it has to. Like, I want to just try something different.
Yeah. I mean, airbrush is a good way of knocking paint on models in a very efficient, fast way too, as well as looking good. So there's not much to be lost by it.
But this,
interested to hear how you go with it. With these,
I'll give them a go. And look, to be honest, I got them, and then the other thing I thought is, like, my daughter's been painting stuff too, so I'm like, well, like the extra paints, and they are pretty. You look at them and you know how to use them in a way. Like they're like, if you're just painting, you could use them as well. Like, there's 3.
Surely they're premium paints. They'll be up there.
They're good.
Yeah.
These are good, but
they wouldn't go astray.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of Kickstarters, my Tabletop World cottage has finally arrived last week. The ones that you got like months ago?
Yeah, and I need to start. I need to put them together too. God,
I have gone in for their latest, just finished pick one too. By
the other one that you won,
Farmstead.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you're getting the whole village. You're going to call what's it called? The village of what do they call it?
I don't know. I'm not sure what it's called. It's a ridiculous name. Yeah. I just really wish they still released the STLs, not just the physical one.
I'd print some of them. Yeah.
That would have been sweet. Yeah. Because that way you can just sort of buy it without having a physical object. You just have it hidden on your computer.
That's my painting table at the moment. It's a fucking mess. It's just shit. I need to clean it all back up and sit down with one project and start the chariot.
Yeah, that's making my head spin. There's like 4 different projects in different piles going on there.
And I hadn't painted that. Like it's still from my daughter.
Josh is sweating just looking at
clean it up.
It's making me stressed.
I only just unpacked my army from playing Andrew last week. I was sitting on the lounge behind me.
I feel like a hobby desk like that is just going to make seasonal depression worse.
Yeah. So I'll get that sorted this week just for the chariots. I was actually going to try to do it before tonight's pod, but that's why I undercoated all the bases because I'm just going to do the bases and then I'm going to zenithal the chariots separate and then glue them on. So the bases are done and then I can contrast paint the whole thing and I don't have to worry about like trying to redo the base afterwards and stuff. And some of these chariots, the reason why I'm doing that too is some of the chariots don't 100% line up very well, like as in they need a bit of a rock because the way they glue it goes a bit weird. And so I probably might put like a little rock under one wheel, especially the Beholder miniature ones. I don't know what it is. It's probably how I glued them. They're a bit wonky, which is fine. But I feel like I'll do the base, put some rocks down, glue the thing on top, and so everything will be solid, and then I'll just contrast, and that way I don't get tempted into painting the underside of carriages and shit that I don't have to do. So yeah, just to try to speed paint. I don't think the chariots are going to take that long. I mean, it's grey wolves with some armor and some metal and some wood. So it should
just laughing at that, just being a completionist, like doing everything, and then like you end up it's upside down, and you're like washing and highlighting like all the timber down the bottom, and you're like, what the fuck
am I doing this? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I started doing a bit of that on those like my Tomb King, and then I went, no, the best way is I glue the fucker on, and I'm not, I can't get the brushes there anymore, so it stops me doing it. Yeah. So.
And like wood texture is so good to contrast.
Yes, so good. Ironically, though, a lot of the time I use the snakebite leather contrast on the timber, so I feel like it just looks a bit woodier than like some of the other wood ones are quite dark. So.
Yeah, or sometimes 2 to 1 wood, like with a dark wood snakebite or something like that.
I don't understand what that means. It's too fancy. It gets too. I don't want to mix.
You can't mix?
Yeah, I have, but I don't want to. 2 to 1, 7/8 of a 15th of a teaspoon of this versus that with a bit of milli
dropper out.
No. It's I'm not using it dry, guys. It's just roughly because if you go 1 to 1, it's just going to take it over by the really dark wood. Anyway.
Yeah. No, okay, I get your point. That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Funny. I love how we're trying to do this quick for Josh and it's 10:30. Let's just quickly chat through.
That's right. I'm going okay.
Let's chat through. So we've been talking about meta a little bit, and there's the dragons. What was dragons? And then there was another one after the dragon. Everyone freaked out about the screams, and then the other
screams.
Linehammer is in there somewhere.
Pegasus. Pegasus. Linehammer was. Well,
the originals.
Do you reckon that just has never happened because no one can be asked doing it more than it being annoying? Like, I feel like it probably could be.
Yeah, it was always a theoretical issue. I agree. I agree.
And then we started. Then the large target thing came with the FAQ for the shooting, and then we started taking poison blocks. And you saw I had that 48 or whatever, and and Jelly had, I think, how many did he have in that other S bots?
Was it 60
or whatever it was? 60, yeah. And then you had the guy over in the UK winning one with 90 Night Goblin poison, and obviously using the number 6
mystical
elemental
pathways
spell, whatever it calls, TMP.
I'll jump in there. So thanks to everybody who responded. Gomo was obviously his way was 100% correct.
Because the rule book said it. We didn't even read the paragraph.
Yeah.
Even though we looked at that page. That's so funny. Because it's so much text. You don't actually you look. Yeah, it's so frustrating.
Yeah. So any point to any point. Yeah. So you can do one
actually
corner.
set it above the paragraph we were actually reading. Anyway.
Thanks for your sponsors, guys. Yeah.
So funny.
Oh, so funny.
Anyway.
No, that's good. Yeah, well, you can see why all
Oh.
these people are doing it with like the poison blocks. And then now the S-Bot launch which is the Square-based online tournament. I think they got like 130 players or something, split into 7 pods or 8 pods, and then they'll bring them in because it's too much. Last time they did it in one big new recruit, like what's it called? Tournament. Is that how you say it? I don't know. Whereas now they've sort of split it up a bit. And then they'll do a regional, then they'll take it out of regions and take it into so I'm just switching my screen. They'll take it into like the next round. So you'll play people out of region, but it's just remove
if you just
share screen window. Boom.
You just got rid of Andrew.
Just kick me.
I thought I clicked. Sorry, man. I thought I clicked the wrong button. Sorry about that. Great. That's going to make my editing annoying. Did I kick you out fully, or did I?
No. He was just
says something about audio, and then audio's
sorry.
been
I
removed.
clicked remove, and then I clicked remove again, thinking it was mine, but it was actually yours. Sorry, dude. Yeah, so I guess what we're seeing now, we just wanted to have a chat about it because obviously it's been going around, was just the size of some of these poison blocks. And on top of that, ironically, people have moved away from Mortuary Cult, which always was, Mortuary Cult's the best, to Royal Host with Tomb Kings, which is and I don't know, do you guys know the rules of Royal Host? I haven't played
you can't take
these.
There's no dragon dudes in this list at all. Is that right?
No, Royal Host, you
Is that right?
You can take a Tomb King, man. I don't know if you can take it. I'm pretty sure you could. I don't know. Maybe I might be wrong there. I'm not sure. But you can't take level 4s in this one. That's why a lot of people say Mortuary Cult is lots of magic, and you can kill. It's like Dark Elves. You can kill like your dudes get more. You can get up to like +8 castings, like by having double casket and like sacrificing and then raising them back up, and so it's just ruthless magic. Whereas the Royal Host, which seemed to be like just ignored, because of the lack of magic and stuff, is actually the one that's really good for this, because you end up with, you do need to take more core, 33%, I think. But again, if you're going to put archers in, you're going to take a lot of them, then you just fill them with core anyway. So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
You can always volley fire, even if after moving. So that's where it sort of combats a bit of the peg stuff a bit, because even if you don't have large targets, I could still shoot a lot of shots at you, providing you can do things like elementalism and stuff. The other thing they have, which I know, but now I'm forgetting, what is it? What's the other rule they have? When we talk about it, I'll remember it. But yeah, well, they have the cohorts and stuff as well, so that way you can have like spearmen at the front and archers at the back if you want and stuff like that. But yeah, so you're seeing, so there's 2 lists very similar in the S-Bot. They've won their first games, and this is sort of what they've been here. And I guess what we want to talk about is A, what the lists are, and B, where do we think it's going? What do we think the next round of people trying to combat it are? So it doesn't have dragons and stuff. It's got level 2, 2 level 2s. One's elementalism, power scroll, lore familiar. So they definitely want that TMP spell, and probably Plague of Rust. And then illusion, level 2 with power scroll. Again, they're only level 2, so they need to, have a bit of a oomph. Enkel's Canopies. That's one that I talked about ages ago, when that was to combat the pillar, because that's the automatic dispel of all remains in play on the table.
Yeah, okay.
So that's what that one is.
Okay.
But power scroll, but illusion is interesting. But then I was thinking, I haven't seen this guy play, or the other guy, Daenerys, which we might get on at some point, who's got a very similar list. I'm thinking, and I might totally be wrong here, probably people listening to this, but I would have thought maybe they're going for glittering robes, but also then just dropping to one of the reroll ones to wound, reroll ones to hit from the Tomb King lore. So they're both signature spells, basically. Hang on, can you do that? Yeah, you can do that, can't you? You can drop to, or can you not? Hang on, what's the rule? Can you drop to
one?
No, so you
drop
can
a
only do
single.
one. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, maybe that's not true. So I don't know. Do they want reroll to ones or do they want a glittering robe? That's what I was wondering. With this one, because glittering robes gives you -1 to against you to hit. And I was wondering if they're comboing stuff with this, because this is the thing. They've got now they've got this one's got 2 rolled heralds on, and I love this, man. They're on chariots, right? And there's only 1 chariot here. So you can join them up. You've got a Tomb King on a chariot and 2 rolled heralds on a chariot, and then you have a skeleton chariot. So you could join them into a unit of 4, which is still cool. They can hang back, wait for the right time, and then go in. And they've got 2 lots of, the Indomitable up to 3. You know, like they get 2 chances to get to Indomitable 3 with the BSBs.
Yeah.
Icon of the Sacred Eye is giving them the minus shit. Is that the -1 weapon skill or something like that? Fuck, I might be wrong on that one. There's some debuffs here. There's like a -1 weapon skill when you're against it, and I think this Tomb King has a +1. Maybe it's not this list. He's got the Ogre Blade as well. I'm just skimming this one. So he's basically like a little guy with like what will he have? 3 wounds plus 4. Has he got 7 wounds? 6 or 7 wounds?
Yeah.
So he's not tank. He's a little bit. He's not as tanky as a dragon. He's only tough 4 or 5, whatever he is.
But he could survive around.
He's got the Ogre Blade, and he's sitting there waiting. I think by the time a dragon or anyone gets near him, is already severely damaged. That would be my gut feel. So then he goes in with the Ogre Blade. The other thing I was thinking, do they just, again, I haven't seen these games, but do they actually just go, fuck it, I'll just put all these chariots in this big block anyway? Because you can put them in like I was doing at the other one. And you go, well, it's a big block. Come in here. I'm all -1 to hit. You're -1 weapon skill. You have to fucking come to, and I can stand and shoot and volley fire. You can do it while you're standing and shooting as well with a volley fire. And by the time you get to me, I've got an Ogre Blade and I'll challenge you and hopefully punk your last 3 wounds off and kill you anyway. Like, is that sort of, I don't know, like, is that what he's doing? Because they've got Banner of the Desert Wind, so they've got reserve move. They get TMP if they can, power scroll that around, and obviously poison attacks. So it's pretty bloody devastating, but it's just one massive 105 archer unit.
Yeah. So is that the Amulet of the Serpent that gives them the...
Yeah, the poison, yeah.
So who's got that?
Well, in this list, because this is the other thing. In this list, the champ can take 35 points. So now the champ has it, so you can't get rid of it.
And so you kill him, and he comes back with his magic weapon.
He just comes back, yeah. So the only negative things with raising is, and this is the other cool thing that people starting to, which is, what I was doing in my early ones, is you're just putting these mortuary priests behind the unit. Like, you don't have to be in the unit, because when you're in the unit, can't raise. But if you're sitting behind the unit, they can't give ground, and you can't get to them anyway.
Yeah.
And then they just sit there and do this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yes.
So you really can't get any points out of this whole list, really. Like,
I like this. They got
maybe the horse archers.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm interested to see, because I'd like to see how he uses the characters versus the unit, or where he's putting in. Is he putting them in the unit, or is he putting in this little unit of chariots?
Yeah.
And hanging around somewhere to come in later. But I feel like, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they just end up in the friggin' unit as well. I don't know.
That is such a, like, my God. But
then if you look at
a very different type of game to the type of Warhammer that I'm used to play.
Yeah.
Just one massive block. Like, there was Deathstars in it.
Part of it. It's pretty.
There were Deathstars in it. Yeah, because the dragons are so powerful, it's warping the rest of the game. Like, everything's designed to take on the dragons now in a way that's really.
So this is our fellow Aussie, and he won. I think. Yeah, I think Daenerys won the S-Bot with Wood Elves, so he's now got this one. What's this draw host? Because I could not stop for death. Okay, so he's got the same, exact same loadout with the mortuary priests.
Yeah,
same. So I don't know if they're chatting or
very similar
meta. 2 roll heralds, Icon of the Sacred Eye again. It's got a Spell Eater, Ogre Blade, Shield of Batra. Sorry, I looked at some of these, but now I can't remember them. But so the other thing with the Royal Heralds is they're the ones who, within 3 inches, they can just take a hit. So you just can't kill this Tomb King. Do you know what I mean? 'Cause he's like, he doesn't have the wounds and the toughnesses of a dragon, but you can't knock the wounds off him because he'll just, like, the Royal Heralds will take it as well. So he's effectively got a Talisman of Protection on him and all this sort of shit. Do you know what I mean? And wardings, because he can just, like, it's what's pretty. He's not as movable as a dragon, but I mean, when he's in a unit that can potentially TMP around the board and reserve move, he's pretty movable. I don't know. I'm assuming that if they put them in the archers, they might not. It might be going with his skeleton chariot and a little unit of 4, but something's telling me there's some play here by putting these guys in the big block. Yeah. Apart from that, the list is almost the same. He's got less. He's got these skeleton skirmishers can ambush in this list as well. So that, I mean, they're annoying. Like 9 skeleton skirmishers popping up behind you, which can't, they're shit, but they're just annoying,
Nine's a good number.
Yeah.
Pretty hard to get rid of. Unless you can get in combat with them.
Like, what do you do? How do you kill these big blocks then? I guess is the next question. Or
you mean the ones that can regen, doesn't break.
Yeah,
just has a ridiculous number of them, stands and shoot. Oh my god, poor characters. Oh, if you flank him, it doesn't really matter.
In the flank, beat it. And it can
that's the thing. I still think Bretonians can probably just fly around. Well, I don't know, but I think Bretts are still. They don't totally kill the Bretts, but they probably do a little bit, but not. Yeah.
But I also can't see how the Bretts are getting rid of that block either.
No. Yeah.
No, he just got tired.
I don't see how anything is getting rid of that block.
Yeah.
I definitely want to watch one of these.
Are we just going to end up in a situation where it's just going to be 2,000 points and it just be 1 unit versus 1 unit on the board?
Well, do you remember we were talking about? So this is where we talk about the Deathstars back video that we never released about 6 weeks into Old World, where we saw the victory points chart and we went, why don't you just put everything in one big unit and you just can't get rid of it? Remember we talked about that and then we never actually did it or released the video. But I feel like that's sort of getting closer.
This is a death black hole, man. Like, this is not a Death Star. This is like Death Stars in 8th were like, 40 guys that are worth about 800 points with characters and stuff in it. This is like 2/3 of the army's points are in these units.
You'd put.
This is a whole other level.
1,000. He's literally got 50s. He's capped. He's got it. I don't know if the other guy had this, but he's definitely got half his army. Well, actually, technically more because his whole army only goes to 1999. So more than 50% is in characters, and then his cohort's 615. So if he dumps them all in there, that is 600.
That's more than 3/4 of his army in 1 unit.
Yeah. That can actually move quite. Like, can position, so like at least to shoot you, and then if it volley fires half those shots that are poison. And depending on what he does with the spells,
making this better.
It's just because, like, you can draw. You could decide to go, well, against a certain army, I might try to I won't take the -1 reroll 1s. I'll take the toughness debuff.
Yeah,
because they've got a toughness strength debuff spell, for example. You could play with that instead. I don't know. I haven't played this army. I haven't seen anyone play it, but I'm just wondering if you still got a bit of choice depending on who you're playing, what type of because they've both got illusion here. So this is the bit that I'm a bit. Illusion's very high casting, isn't it? Generally, so I feel like the only reason you take it. Like, I don't know, like this is the bit I'm not so much confused, but that's what I was thinking. Are you dropping to Glittering Robes to get, is that -1 to hit in combat against you, against the whole unit?
Yeah, maybe get the book,
Yeah, sorry. I think it is, or something like that. So,
Consult the Bible. Oh, this is in the Bible. Or just, Where's my Bible? Hang on.
Hang on, I'll bring it up. I've got it on the other screen here. Yeah, Glittering Robes
you
minus
put it
one
over there.
modified to
Yeah.
rolls to hit against the caster in any unit they've joined.
Oh, and the unit they've joined. Holy crap.
So, like, if those guys are in that unit, and I don't know if they have to be in that unit, but I'm just assuming potentially they might. I don't know. And then you've got the Shield of Patra on the dude. Is a -1. That's the -1 weapon skill to use. So the Tomb King's -1 to hit. Oh, sorry, -1 weapon. He's already plus the Icon of the Sacred Eye gives you +1 weapon skill, right? So you put all these together, the Tomb King's weapon skill 8 at -1 weapon skill to you and -1 weapon skill to hit him. Plus, when you hit him, he can give his hit. He can give 2 of those hits over to the Royal Heralds.
Yeah.
So you can't fucking kill him. And assuming those archers have done some damage before you got there, he's got the Ogre Blade and just can wipe you out.
Yeah.
That's how I see it, but I don't know. Looks fucking pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, very gnarly.
I'm just not sure I'd enjoy playing a game. I mean, returning whatever army I'll be taking, like it just doesn't seem like it'd be fun to play or play against.
Yeah. It's sort of verging into that 40k sort of roll.
Regardless of the power level, and it sounds like it's very powerful too, but
yeah,
it just sounds like it's rolling dice and seeing who wins, but there's no finesse of maneuvering.
And I think there's probably some truth, and this is probably not true actually, but I wonder if there's some truth here that the S-Bot is the type of tournament where you want to try this because you want to play around with these ideas. Even like when I was talking joking about 140 skeletons. I don't want to play 140 skeletons, but I can play online and see what it's like. So I think that's
online. Maybe it's different. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
because you can just put these ridiculous things together and see what works and what doesn't.
Yeah, so I think there's a bit of that, which is kind of fun and it's fun to see. And every game's breakable when you take it to the nth degree. But so let's just quickly chat though about what can you do, and I guess one of the other options we were thinking of, and then you said, Andrew, that you did hear one of the other YouTubers talk about it a bit, was just spamming. Again, I was sort of against MSU, but now I'm starting to think, well, geez, is that what you do? Like, it's like the whole dragon thing was a bit like that too. It was like, well, if I have a shit ton of units, well, you can only kill, and you've just got this one big block, you can only kill one of my units at a turn. So therefore, you're not getting very far.
Nah, It was Day After Dark was mentioning.
I see. I haven't watched that one then. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
He was talking about obviously the meta changing. That they were discussing tournaments and stuff, and obviously the meta's again changing into seeing more of these large blocks getting around. Not as much as dragons. Like dragons, obviously still very popular, but obviously because of the dragons, this is one of the meta shifts to counter the dragon. And then he was saying, as you exactly said, basically MSU, heaps of chariots. You could just see lots of single chariots becoming like more common. If we're going to start seeing these big giant blocks as well, because chariots they're pretty cool.
But how do you, like, at the end of the day, you still have to kill this unit or kill the people in it? Like, I don't know how you. I guess with chariots, you have more chance of. I don't know. Do you have more chance of lining up the right charge to hit, like, for example, here, the Mortuary Priest? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, like you said, I mean, like MSU,
the Tomb King is the Tomb King in this list. Isn't he the Hierophant? With the Royal Host? You actually have to kill him.
But I mean, like, maybe not. Instead, you're not sending a single dragon in. You could be sending 5 chariots. Like, you know, at the end of the day, there's only so many impact hits you're going to be able to take. I mean,
true. Yeah. So
you're going to be dividing all those hits amongst all your different characters. Your characters are going to be taken pretty big.
These guys, actually, the other thing that this army has, that's the other rule, but it's probably inconsequential here, is they get to re-roll their impact hits for their chariots, but there's not that many anyway. I don't know. We'll see. They both won their first S-Bot games. There could be other. These are just the two I picked up on. I skimmed through, but they're the two that I saw. I'd be interested to see how many other big units of poise. There is other ones. It's so funny. There's a few other normal Tomb Kings and Mortuary Priests with like 40 or 50 archers in it. I sort of skimmed past that. That wasn't the ones I was looking for, which is that was the big one, and now that's 94 or 105. So it's kind of funny.
I wouldn't mind seeing, like, you've seen like MSU coming in with like maybe Wood Elves a bit. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing that from. I've seen like a Dwarf guy go really well with heaps of MSU. Not saying like
I'd actually love to roll this out though. Like, assuming the Wood Elf dragon gets into combat here, declares a challenge, and the Tomb King takes it. What the result is?
Yeah,
because they're both. You can't kill the two. You can't kill the like the Forest Dragon is what minus. Is he -2 hit and challenge, or minus? So it's one of them. It's something like that.
Yeah, I think one of them's one minus weapon skill, and yeah, the other one's the befuddlement, and whatever the other one is. Yeah.
Oh, so it's also a -1 to weapon skill and then -1 to hit, same type of thing.
Yeah,
okay.
Same thing. So you go.
Yeah, so this is the same. It's -1 to hit, but he's got +1 weapon skill. Yep. So now this guy's already weapon skill 8. I believe the Wood Elf's still weapon skill 7, isn't he?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So he's got one up there. And then I don't know what the rule is with the Royal Herald stacking. I'd have to have a look when you got two of them. But the rule is, I'll just get it for you. Should a monarch of Nakara model suffer a hit whilst within 3 inches of this model, you may choose to transfer that hit and all of its effects onto this model. Yeah, so basically there's no roll. There's just whatever 2 hits you manage to get through, I can choose to give to my heralds.
Yeah.
So
his weapon skill D3.
So his weapon skill,
you're
hitting him on 5s, you're hitting him on 4s, -1s to 5s. Yeah, wow. I don't know.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see who, because I feel like that's a bit of a meta, like against the Wood Elf Dragon as well, because it's one of the ones that are like that are like can't if you get in challenge with it, you can't kill it.
Yeah.
Whereas this one's like, well, you can't kill me either. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. That is interesting.
So if that block gets tied up in combat with a dragon for like 4 turns, it can't really do anything else the whole time, right? Like,
well, it can't shoot. Yeah, true.
Shoot,
I mean, it's all poison
cast.
and stuff. So I mean, you're sitting there. The dude's fighting back with his ogre blade and poison, and I mean, he can do some damage, I would assume.
Yeah,
true.
I'm wondering,
and it's a Tomb King. They're not bad at combat.
Yeah.
They're really good.
Because what's the combat?
Oh fuck,
Res
he's got.
Going to be getting
sorry, I forget.
kid?
He's level 1 necromancy as well, so he can drop to the level 1. He could drop to the reroll 1s to hit if he wants, or he can drop to debuff your toughness. He can bring your dragon down to toughness 5, for example.
Yeah. Because if you're not beating the dragon and you're pushing it back, sorry, if you're beating the dragon in combat, you're pushing it back. Your archer box is turning and just.
Yeah, you just one shot. Yeah, you like if they charge you, you win or don't win or whatever, even if you're stuck.
Yeah.
But the next turn you go the other way, you just don't follow up. You shoot the shit out of it with 100-something shots.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's fucked. We should play this game just for fun. See what happens.
Who's having fun, but
well, you can play the game. I
gets
just want to see what happens.
No. It would be a very good experiment to play on the board. So you got how many skeletons you got? How many got to paint up?
Well, if you want archers, I need to do another. What I say? I've got 66 archers painted, or whatever.
Have you got? Oh yeah, throw some spearmen in there. We'll have
I've got 60 spearmen, but they're not painted. Yeah, I've got more than enough, but I'd have to.
Yeah. Sure, we can make do.
That's funny.
That would be.
And on top of that, you got 3 tomb scorpions hanging around the edge of it, waiting for your dragon to get close and try monster slayer it anyway.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
So the army's moving up, and then like all
I feel like
these
Brett's are the only
things are
ones that
going
might be able to handle it by just not even coming near it. Just flying around, just like
By not engaging.
Yeah.
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 How big is this unit though? It's 105.
Yeah. How do you run it?
It's so funny. Someone was joking. Maybe that was the Night Goblin guy. Was joking about what's the comp that was over in the US that was kind of strict and you could only go 10 wide and stuff? Nova Open.
Yeah.
He was like, I couldn't. He had to message the TO and went, well, I can't do that because otherwise then I'm too big and I fall off the back of my deployment zone when I deploy because he's more than 12 inches deep.
Yeah.
He's more than 6. Yeah, because he's 90. So therefore, if he's only 10 wide, he's 9 deep, which means he's off the board. That's not right. He's only 90. I don't know. Whatever it was funny. It was like at some point I'm off the board on some of the scenarios. So
Yeah.
can't deploy.
That's funny.
Anyway. I guess the other thing I did hear from, maybe that was on the Close Order, because that's what I was watching. Ed's Close Order podcast was talking, but he was building a list here and only got halfway through it to try and combat it. And one of the listeners said, what about Vols to try to take out the amulet?
Oh, yeah.
And I was thinking, MSU High Elves, but I mean, Vols is 12 inches, hey?
Yeah, it's not far.
It's not far, so you got to get very close.
Mm.
And I was wondering if there's a way to hide. You can't, he's the champ anyway, so you can't hide him. He's going to be at the top, but he'll come back anyway. And what does that mean? If he dies, no, it's dead, isn't it? You blow the magic on him.
Yeah, magic gun's gone.
Yeah, I don't know. Interesting. The cool thing is, are we just experiencing old world and the issues with the rule book, or are we experiencing Warhammer Fantasy in any version in the realm, like the era of the internet? Like 40K's been in it for years. Fantasy was sort of in it a little bit, but everyone was still in forums and Wargamer AU. And now they're in Discords and like everything's just plastered over the internet. Like we forget the age that 7th and 6th and even 8th, early 8th was in. It wasn't in the internet era. Not as much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't net listed as much.
Nah, definitely not.
And so we're just experiencing net
wasn't.
listing. Like any other game would. Like does 9th Age go through this? Apart from obviously 9th Age still has some, they can balance things a bit. But
Oh, yeah. It's got friggin' patch every 3 months.
yeah.
Well, not anymore.
So-
but it was.
So is it that, I don't know. I feel like it's a bit of that. And I feel like at some point when you have like the dragon gets countered by this, which counts countered like that, the only people who, well, if anything, the only people who end up taking them are the people who don't know how to use them. Because they, like someone who wants to win a tournament knows I can't take this because if I take it, it gets done by this other one that will probably be there.
Yeah.
So they end up having to then balance themselves out and just take some more balanced stuff. Well, that's what I'm hoping, but I don't know if that's true.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like as a TO, if you're running an event, somebody said, "Oh, I want to run 100 poison archer block." Like, what would be your response to that? Like, if you were having a friendly,
Well, see,
they
that's the
have
thing.
the
In every
the
tournament
tablet.
I've been to, I don't reckon this would get. People mostly just go, "Look, is it fun to play against?" No, well then don't bring it. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say
But
like maybe 40 skeletons or 40 archers you might get away with at the most. Like you start getting at 100, like that's just getting.
Yeah, I think you can
It's
get. Like, it depends what it is. When it's night goblins and skeletons, I can see people taking those 50s, and it's probably not too. It's bad, but it's probably not too bad.
Oh yeah.
100 and something is. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard as a TO because the dragons are already so dominant, like so people looking for tools to deal with them, and if you take away those tools, then the dragons just sit there being a model that a lot of armies can't deal with.
Yeah.
As well. So
Because I mean, all this thing has to do is be able to reserve, move up, get one of those TMPs off, and just like that 105 with poison probably would take a dragon off almost in one go. And then therefore it's won. And then all I have to do is just move back and go, I'm just sitting there. And you can stay away from me, but I win.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or I'll just send the rest of your army off and I'll shoot off the board anyway. So it's like,
Yeah.
I think it's the resilience of it that's scary. The fact that there's not easily removed from the board, from like a failed break check or something. Like even the night goblins.
Exactly. The night goblins is panickable, and it was 16-inch short bow, so really had to get that spell off. Didn't have Banner of the Desert Winds, so can't do reserve move.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, but it does have fanatics, so it's more of a counter to Bretonnians, because it's like, well, I can be this close to you and blow the shit out of your 3-up save.
Yeah.
Peg
But
knights
I feel
can't
like
get away.
there's more interplay to that to some extent,
Yes.
like
Yeah, totally.
Different strategy you could use to counter it, whereas this is just a block that's like, can't shift it. It's quite mobile as well, which is terrifying.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'm definitely going to keep an eye out on
you go
Discord
with
and see
this.
if these guys are playing it in a okay hour, and I'd love to watch one of the Warhol games to see how this goes.
Yeah.
'Cause you just go, oh.
It's scary. That is, it's nuts. So just looking at it, you're just like, oh, jeez.
He is playing the one I was just sharing. It's not changed. I'm looking at the wrong screen there. The other guy has got a round matchup against Wood Elves. So yeah, you're still looking at Daenerys. Sorry, I'm looking at the UK player. I can't really share that. Let me just jump back to the other one. Let's see who Daenerys is going to play next then. Hang on just quickly before we wrap up the show. That's not done yet. They haven't finished. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
That's okay. Yeah, cool. Well, fun. It's good old world.
Yeah.
That's the era we're living in. Still love it. It's just funny.
Yeah.
Doesn't stop me painting stuff. So
Yeah.
I just don't know. I just can't bring myself to get to that point where I'm taking it that much to win. But maybe that means you'll never win a tournament like that. I don't know.
You wouldn't want to win a tournament like that if that's what it meant winning a tournament was, eh? It'll be interesting to see what sort of lists turn up at CanCon. Because that's still 3 months away. Like things do change. They have been changing compared to July.
You know what's going to be next? I mean, well, it doesn't really help against undead, but maybe it will. Is like you got to be grudge throwers and rock lobbers. Template weapons are back. Just like war machines.
Just hammering the massive block.
Yeah. Because even if it
scatters, it doesn't matter, right?
It doesn't matter. It's still hitting. So it's just like in the middle, just boom, 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 and eventually just like especially against that night goblin block. I mean, it's just they're dying, they're dead. So like,
yeah. That's what I was saying. Like Day After Dark is like you don't see the old flame template. Like you just no one does breath weapons. Like there's no point. You got all these dragons with breath weapons. You never see them using it, do you? Like it's just getting into combat. Whilst now you might see these breath weapons. Like you said, the templates still on that.
Yeah, the templates definitely like, especially when that big, and if they scatter, they're still going to hit. So. Yeah, that's interesting to think about. But yeah, the undead just take it to another level because, I mean, look, it's fixable like those things because just like zombies, you just cap them.
Yeah.
Cap them at a certain size. Whatever it is.
Which is what Ninth did, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like they've got caps on all the units.
Yeah, I think it's because most of the time, you sort of think skeletons are shit. Zombies were so shit that people did just and you could raise them. People just get. That's why they had to cap them. Too many of them. Anyway, well, fun. Anything else you guys want to talk about, or we'll take that for inspiration and try to come up with this next batch? Do you want to try and we should try to get a video out, Andrew, or something. I don't know how, but
I'm really keen. I don't know. Should we put it to the community on who they want to see next?
Yeah, well, and I had a couple of people who I've been telling I'll get on to do the videos, but that's too hard to work out this week, I think.
Yeah. You might need an impromptu of who's not waiting for a book review.
Well, yeah, we could even do Arcane Journal-y ones because we haven't really done separate ones of them. So we could do that too. So yeah, let us know if you get it. If you get this, if this comes out before we do it, let us know, and we will do.
Who you wanna see?
Try get a who you want to see, and we'll do another video.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome, guys. We should let Josh get back to his bed. Well, firstly, not back. He hasn't been to bed in a week over here.
It doesn't look too bad, but considering he's had like what?
I'll be traveling next. I'll be in Tasmania. My first trip to Tasmania next week. But hopefully, I don't think they're going to be late nights. So I reckon at 9 o'clock on a Monday or a Tuesday, I can get a podcast in. So I'll take my microphone.
Nice.
I'll just jump on. Ironically, one of the guys down there that I'm catching up with plays Blood Bowl.
Oh,
yeah. So yeah, it's just ironic. He was just talking to the boss about something, and I was like, "What?" And then I showed the camera. I went, "Yes, I'm a geek too." So not Blood Bowl. I've got Blood Bowl out there unpainted, but I was actually going. Do you reckon I could paint a Blood Bowl team in a week and take it down? But I was like, nah, too much effort. I could,
airbrush,
but yeah.
Add it to the box, go.
Yeah, there's enough sins here to keep me going.
Painting bin.
What I've got. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. Thanks for listening to another Old World Fanatics episode. If you enjoy our weekly ramblings, please leave us a 5-star review on your podcast software of choice, or if you're watching on YouTube, hit that like, subscribe, and comment, please, on our videos. We really love that. I think if I haven't commented, I know the other guys do. And then jump over to patreon.com/oldworldfanatics if you want to see what we offer over there, as well as jump on and chat to our awesome patrons who send us the pictures and questions every week. But until next time, guys, and Josh, Andrew, have a good week, and we'll talk to you on the next episode of the Old World Fanatics. Cheers, guys.
See you later.
Ciao.